All right. Hello and welcome back to Colonial Outcast. Now, today we have and are releasing a bit of an unconventional episode. It's with Dr. Mohammed Altalla in Gaza, and we had a lot of recording issues. He was recording from an iPad. It kept dying. He could only recharge it at the hospital, not where he lived, because there's no power outside of the hospital. Also, there's no Wi-Fi, so we couldn't record and upload local files in StreamYard that were higher quality because he's dealing with shoddy cell phone signals in Gaza, which sometimes work, sometimes don't. It took about 10 tries to complete this interview. Mark, my co-host on Colonial Outcast, conducted the interview. It took a lot of editing, a lot of trying to fix the sound, but it's a 90-minute interview. We encourage you to listen to his story as a kind of bird's eye view, or fly on the wall view, rather, excuse me, of what it's like in hospitals in Gaza and all the rumors and information surrounding it. So check it out. It's 90 minutes. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever, and I hope to see you on the next one. Here it goes.
I hear you.
I'm fine. Yeah, what about you?
Alhamdulillah. I'm doing good.
Everything is good?
Everything's good. Glad to see you're good.
Yeah.
How's your week been so far?
Nice to meet you. I said, can you hear me? Okay,
I
very
do.
good. Okay.
I do, but it's on and off.
Delay. Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
I said that I just returned from the hospital.
How was that?
Okay. Yeah, I just, before I left the hospital, I have a round at my patient, and I'm so shocked about their situation. They are in the corridor, and it's too bad situation, but it's okay. And after that, I left the hospital and I didn't find any transport. I woke for more than 2 hours in the sunlight, and now I'm so tired. I have a headache, and it's okay. I got used to that. Are you okay?
Yeah, I got sick over the weekend. So I've been having weird chills, weird
I'm
tremors,
sorry
you know,
for
so
I hope
no, it's
you'll be
okay.
okay soon. Sorry for
You
that.
too.
Okay.
I can't complain. I know you're dealing with a lot worse, and all your patients are dealing with much worse than I am. So
It's okay, bro. I think you will be okay, but try to drink hot fluid and hot liquid, so
yes,
you will be okay soon. Try.
I'm going to read an introduction. Hello, everybody. Good morning if you're in the Western Hemisphere, and good evening for those in the Eastern one. Welcome to Colonial Outcast, the quaint, humble podcast that the murderous Queen Elizabeth is currently attempting to claw out of her decrepit grave to put a stop to. I'm Mark. It goes without saying that one of the most stressful careers is in the medical field. And it goes without saying that any career in Gaza is a substance of nightmares. So combine those two worlds, and what do you have? You got a career so insanely terrifying that only the bravest human beings on this planet would even dare stomach the thought of being a medical worker in Gaza. Humanity is speechless right now in seeing medical staff running into the kill box to save as many as they can. These medical workers will be studied for decades, in my opinion, in every single vector for medical education, and will be honored as the pinnacle of bravery for the sake of saving lives, while the most evil war machine humanity has ever seen is currently and sadistically targeting any and all medical personnel. I am here with Dr. Mohammed Altalla, a doctor in the Department of Surgery at al-Aqsa Hospital. For those of you who don't know, al-Aqsa Hospital is located in the middle of Gaza. Aside from it being a small hospital, it is the only functioning hospital there, which we'll get into. Doc is a teaching assistant at the Faculty of Medicine at Azhar University in Cairo, and a medical director of Amal Health Center. He was director for a 40-plus team of consultants, doctors, pharmacists, and nurses. Al-Amal is located in a marginalized area to provide a health service for more than 40,000 people. Doc was born in Gaza and has lived there for 26 years. Also, Doc managed cases for the Al-Nuseirat Massacre, which goes without saying involved a flood of victims with some very obvious horrific challenges from a humanitarian and medical perspective, with compounding of medical equipment, medicine, and just basic logistical support shortage necessary to run a medical facility. And that day was an especially nightmarish one. So, Doc, there are so many questions I have for you. But before I do, how do you feel right now on an emotional level? I want to start off by that.
I cannot express my feeling right now, as really we have heartbroken, and we try to hide our tears every minute and in every situation. As we are a doctor, we try to insert the hope inside the heart of the patient and inside the heart of everyone we met in the ground. So really, my heart is broken, and I'm really and like, really no words can describe my feeling right now. So sorry for that.
No, it's understandable, Doc. I wanted to get into the organization you work for. Could you explain what you do and you're currently in Gaza right now at the Al-Aqsa hospital?
Yeah, right now, since the war started at the 7th of October 2023, I started a voluntary work in the surgical department at Al-Aqsa hospital from the first day of the war. And I'm trying to do my best to manage my victim and any victim who I met in Al-Aqsa hospital. Every day I have a shift in the surgical department in the Al-Aqsa hospital. As there is a shortage in medical staff, my team is only consists of 5 doctors. One of them is the consultant, and 2 doctors, GB, and 2 other interns. So there is a shortage in medical staff. So every day I have a shift in the surgical department, and every day I enforce myself to walk 2 hours to the hospital and 2 hours from the hospital to reach the hospital to be able to manage the patient, as there is no transport machines, and I got used to that. And also, beside the volunteering work in the surgical department, I established 2 medical points in the refugee shelter here in Gaza. One of them in the middle area of Gaza, and the other was in the Rafah at January. So I established 2 medical points in the refugee shelter, and usually I have morning shifts in the medical points in the refugee shelter, trying to manage the refugee victims or refugee patients, and I'm trying to get them everything is free, and I'm trying to take care about the refugee in every shelter that I will have service in it. So this is my routine here in Gaza now at the time of the war. So morning shift at the refugee shelter and night shift at the surgical department without any rest or any break since the war started at the 7th October 2023. So this is briefly what I'm doing now and what I'm trying to do these days.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I have a question about medical supplies. How much medical supplies are you getting? Are you receiving into Gaza right now? I know that there's been a lot of restriction for aid coming in. A lot of games that Israel's playing. How bad is it? How bad is it?
That's right. Okay. According to the medical supply and medicine and drugs, there is a shortage.
Oh, Doc, no worries.
Sorry for interruption. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, according to the medical supply and medical equipment, in the medical supply and medical equipment here in Gaza, and especially nowadays, okay, as Gaza under siege for more than 17 years, okay, and now Rafah crossing is closed. And also before Rafah crossing is closed, there is 1,000 of track in the Egyptian side, and they are not allowed to enter Gaza, even if it's nutritional or medical aid. So sometimes last January and February, we did some surgical intervention without any type of analgesia, which is painkiller. So you can imagine to do a surgical intervention without any painkiller or without anesthesia. So we're trying to do our best to preserve the medical equipment and to give them to the patient who in need for this equipment. And according to the medicine or drugs in the shelter or in the hospital, absolutely there is a shortage in drugs or medicine for chronic disease. For the patients who need and other types of drug, there is a shortage in this medicine. Even according to this shortage, some of a large person of victims who should take antibiotics and to maintain his wound healthy. Shortage, their wound is infected, and the infected wound we see, and this war we didn't see it before. A very bad infected one that will not respond to any type of intravenous antibiotic. So the medical situation is no words can describe it. The patient in the at the hospital and refugee are suffering, and chronic or chronic medical institution are suffering from shortage in their medical drugs. As personally, my dad complaining of chronic heart disease and hypertension and diabetes mellitus. So he needs to take some drugs regularly every day. So according to this shortage, he didn't take these drugs, and many times we relate to us and to talk with this, and these drugs are available, but I didn't find them. So the medical situation here and the health system is nearly destroyed. Al-Aqsa is the only functioning hospital in Gaza Strip. It's a small hospital, the 150 bed. So you can imagine more than or nearly 2 million people are present in Khan Yunis and the middle area of Gaza with all imagine the you can imagine that. You can imagine the health system, how it's tired. And you can imagine that this hospital is a small hospital, not central one. The central hospital, Al-Shifa hospital, is completely destroyed. Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis is nearly destroyed. They try to return it to the service, but it's not. It's just for some emergency, for obstetric ward and emergency for surgical ward. So Al-Aqsa hospital is the only functioning hospital. The admission department now in tent, not in the floors. The floors is full of victims. You cannot put your leg in any site at the hospital without seeing a patient or a victim. The patient in the corridor and the patient in the hall of the hospital, and also in the tents at the hall of the hospital. So it's too crowded, and there is no capacity to admit another cases or another victims. And you can imagine that the emergency ward or the emergency department of Al-Aqsa hospital now is shifted to be admission department. There is a small hall or a small room for the emergency department in Al-Aqsa hospital. The original one was shifted to be admission department. So we are suffering here. We're trying to do our best, but we cannot. There is a shortage of medical staff and medical equipment. Really, we are suffering here.
Yeah, I can imagine. Tell me, how often do you guys get supplies at the hospital? Is like once a week and it's very little supply?
No, we cannot put a day for a supply. Yeah, according to the Israeli army, how they are allowed to this track to Gaza, and there is a small storage for these medical supplies. We try to use them, and the other times we cannot imagine or we cannot expect when these drugs or when these medical aids can enter Gaza and reach the Al-Aqsa hospital. So there is no date we can expect it that every week or every 10 days or every 2 weeks we cannot expect that. So we try to preserve as much as we can, and we try to use as little as we can from the storage of our medical supply in Al-Aqsa hospital.
Has the Al-Aqsa been attacked at all? Has it sustained any damage from the IDF?
Yeah, it's attacked for more than two times. Last April, direct target of airstrike at tent in the main hall of Al-Aqsa hospital. At that time, there was 6 person was killed and more than 20 person was injured. Part of them was doctor and part of them was nurses and the others journalists. So 2 times was target to Aqsa hospital, and it's also affected by the near or the local airstrike that occurred around Al-Aqsa hospital. And also before 10 days when Nuseirat Massacre occurred, people in tents in Al-Aqsa hospital had received calls from Israeli army to displace from Al-Aqsa hospital, as they tell them that we will target Al-Aqsa hospital again, and you have to enforce yourself to displace or to leave Al-Aqsa hospital. So you can imagine the psychological effect of this call to doctors, to nurses, to victims, to patients in Al-Aqsa hospital. And it was a fake news as they tried to hide the news of the Nuseirat Massacre at the same day and at the same hour. So at that time, I was at the hospital, and the situation was very shocked. Hundred of person who was killed come to the hospital, and 100 of injured victims come to the hospital, presented to the emergency room. And you can imagine that there is a shortage in medical staff, and we cannot deal with this large number of cases.
I lost you, Doc.
To preserve life as much as we can.
Yes, sir. Doc, I don't know how the medical staff in Gaza is able to withstand so much stress and so much emotional torment, along, of course, with the obvious physical torment they're going through. A lot of medical staff members like yourself and other doctors have health issues of their own as a result of this sustained genocide since October. And
yeah, sorry for what's happening.
No, it's okay. No, you don't have to apologize for anything, Doc. I understand the internet's really bad in Gaza right now. It's okay. Doc, so how do you cope, and how does the medical staff in Gaza cope? What is the number one thing that helps them through and keeps pushing them and keeps them motivated despite this atrocious nightmare, this hell that they're going through? It's literally like medical staff going into hell to serve patients.
Yes, that's right. It's a hard condition, and it's a hard matter for us to cope with this genocide and with this situation and with this moment. that we live in the hospital and in the emergency room and in the operating room. But we, as a doctor, we try to express the gut feeling in the face of victims and patients as they are really suffering, and we are too suffering, but we try to support them, even emotionally, psychologically, and medically. Personally, I'm trying to express every single good feeling or good emotion uh, uh, in the face of my victims and my patient and anyone that I can meet in the hospital. And in the opposite, I'm trying to hide my bad feeling as much as I can, as I have a bad situation and very sad situation. As you can imagine that you are in the emergency room and some of victim or injured patient present to the hospital, and there is only one member of the family who survived and the rest was killed. You can imagine that. You can imagine that this person asked you to bring his father or his mother. I'm trying to keep him calm, and I'm trying to play with him, and I'm trying to do my best to support him psychologically at that moment.
Doc, how much has your oh, shit.
Brother, can you hear me?
I hear you. Well, now I don't. Now I don't hear you. There you are. I see you.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. No need to apologize. We're gonna have this
Okay.
happen for the next hour because your internet's not good. It's okay. We'll just deal with it. We'll work around it. I'm gonna be
It's
able to
okay.
edit this.
After 1 hour, yeah.
There you go. I hear you. I see you. So,
Okay.
Doc, we were talking about emotionally coping. If you don't mind me asking, how has your faith helped you stay solid throughout all this? How has it motivated you? How has it guided you?
I think it's the biggest happiness in the world is to preserve a life. I believe this. So I'm working and I'm volunteering and I'm trying to do my best at this genocide to feel this. I did, and I did, and I had preserved a lot of lives. So that's supported me, and that's pushed me at the front lines, and that's pushed me to keep my hands up for any volunteering work in any places or in any situation. So this was what I believe, and that's why I'm trying to apply in my life.
Doctor, I wanted to talk about the media for a second. The Western media is portraying the medical situation in Gaza in a different light. They're portraying the aid. They're saying that the aid coming in is due to logistical issues. Have you been in touch with Western media and what they're saying about the situation in Gaza?
Yeah, I think the worldwide news or the worldwide media try to express that uh, the medical aids and the nutritional aids are into Gaza, and they are allowed to enter Gaza. So this is a fake news. Only a limited and short medical aids can or allowed to enter Gaza to reach the hospital. So we are suffering now from a shortage in medical staff medical equipment. I didn't know if this news can express and can uh, have a movie or short videos about what is happening in the hospital, inside the hospital, inside the corridor and the department and the rooms of the hospital. I didn't think this. I don't think this. If you can see a real videos in my profiles in Instagram or LinkedIn, you can see how we are suffering and how the patient and the victims are lying in the hospital floor. They are lying in the corridor. So I think it's fake news. Yeah, we are suffering and we are complaining of a shortage in medical supply and medical equipment and also medical staff.
The aid that has been getting in, how has that been accomplished? Which organizations are the main ones who are bringing in aid? I know that they
Yeah,
are.
the UNRWA, the United Nation, the UNRWA, United Nation. It's the main or the big organization that were trying to allow to these to track to into Gaza, especially the medical aids. And after that, they have tried to coordinate and organize with the government or other non-governmental organization to give them these supplies to use in their works. So the main one is the UNRWA here in Gaza.
Doc, if you don't mind, I want to talk about the Al-Nussiret Massacre.
Yeah.
That day, when you got flooded by patients, can you give us the version of events that's more accurate than the one we are hearing in the Western media?
Yeah, it's a day of no words. We are in the hospital and the situation was not exactly calm, but it's okay. And according 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, a large number of victims was presented to the emergency room, and a large numbers of strike and bombings randomly in every area at the middle area of Gaza, especially at Nuseirat camp. And we cannot imagine how the large number of these victims and injured. We are short, we are a small team, and we are trying to do our best. We cannot deal with every case. We try to ask help from other teams and from others, doctors and nurses to help us in this massacre. Really, we cannot imagine what is happening. Till now, I cannot imagine what was happening at that day. Yeah, it's the worst day for my duty in Al-Aqsa hospital. More than 250 martyrs or person who was killed, and more than 800 of victims. Random bombing and airstriking everywhere at the middle area. People enforced to leave their homes and tents and places at the middle area, in Nuseirat and Al-Maghazi and the British camps. So I try to preserve as much as I can of lives of injured victims as much as I can. And I at that day I worked for more than 36 hours and I didn't return to my of the last till I tried to manage the last victim with this massacre. So most of victim was women and children. Large number of cases complaining of burn and amputation in their limbs. I managed younger children of 8 years old who was missed his 4 limbs, 2 lower limbs and 2 lower limbs. So you can imagine child without any limbs in his 8 year old. So really till now I cannot imagine what was happening at that day. And We tried to use anything, our clothes, to stop the bleeding. We tried to use anything in the hospital, anything in the emergency room to preserve one life. And the victim was also lying in the hospital outside the emergency room. So really, no words can describe what was happening at that. Till now, I'm shocked how I coped, how I preserved my heart from since that day. So also my family enforced to leave their tent, and that was what's happening at that time. It's really a nightmare. Yeah, it's no film or movie express what was happening at that day. So really, it's a nightmare. It's the worst day in Al-Aqsa hospital at this point.
Doc, I can look in your eyes and see in your soul. I can see the pain. I can see you holding on as tightly as possible to what little ounce of strength you have left to deal with this. Do you feel any type of encouragement from knowing that the eyes of the world are on Gaza? Is there any has the world waking up to the reality in Gaza and the protest? Does that offer any type of consolation for you? Any type of encouragement? I just want to know what we could do on the outside of Gaza besides trying to get in aid, of how we can help out, how we can mentally encourage workers like you in Gaza.
According to the support from the outside or the worldwide to Gazan people or Gazan doctor, I really appreciate the protest, and I really like what was happening with students in every different country. I really have a hope from their action, and I really support and appreciate the protests that occur in every country and in every city worldwide. And really, I have a hope, and I have happiness when I see that someone in some city, in other city, support us and ask for a ceasefire. Personally, I really appreciate that, and personally, I really appreciate if anyone can support me in my medical mission here in Gaza. As 2 months ago, I received a three unconditional offer for medical specialties and master degree in UK, in United Kingdom University. And because of the war, I missed a grateful scholarship. That's why I forced myself to establish a medical mission campaign to keep me going in Gaza and to support me in the future to start my master degree in United Kingdom. As really, I missed a grateful scholarship. So that's why I forced myself to establish a campaign, GoFundMe, to support my medical mission. And I decided to take this position or to start this master as there is a shortage in academic doctor here in Gaza. And really, it's one of my biggest dreams. This campaign will support me to continue my work here in Gaza. So I'm asking everyone watching me now to support my medical mission, as really I need your support to start my master degree. After that working and after that volunteering work, I think I deserve it. I think after this 9 months of genocide here in Gaza, I deserve it. Also, I refused to evacuate from Gaza. 3 months ago, till now, I have a chance to evacuate from Gaza, but I refused and decided to stay here in Gaza as people here need my service and need me to manage them and to help them as much as I can. So after that, I think I deserve this opportunity of master degree in United Kingdom, and I think you can help me even by donation to my medical mission campaign or by sharing my works now. As really, I don't have free time in my days routine. A morning shift in the medical shelter, in the medical point in the shelter, and the night shift at the surgical department at Al-Aqsa hospital, and only 4 hours to sleep, and 4 hours walking every day, 2 hours to the hospital, and 2 hours from the hospital. And I'm a person of hope, and I'm a teaching assistant at Faculty of Medicine, and also I'm a medical director at the Amal Health Center. I prepared the project and write the project of establishing a medical health center in the marginalized area, and I succeed to have a fund from the UNDP to build and to prepare this project, and I succeeded in that, and I was in the position of a medical director. Uh, so really, I think I deserve your help and your support to support my medical mission campaign.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description for your organization and for your fundraising. What about your safety? How, I know that many doctors, many nurses have been killed since October. How close did you come to becoming harmed yourself by the IDF?
Wow,
They target.
Many
Tell me
times.
about them.
Yes, many times. The first time was in the medical point in a refugee shelter. I was walking to this shelter in the morning, and once I reached the medical point, I see around that all tents was enforced displaced from this refugee shelter, and two bombing occurred near me, just 10 meters to be and to stay at my medical point to manage the victim at this strike. So I didn't leave or I didn't displace my medical point. I decided to stay and to start to manage the patient. And at that time, I stopped two victims bleeding, and it's a life-threatening bleeding at that time. So I preserved their life. This is the first time. The second time, it was occurred at the Nuseirat camp. It was 5 months ago. I was just finished my work or my duty at the refugee shelter, and I just tried to walk to the hospital. And just I was far about building about 100 meters, and complete destruction of this building was occurred. A large, massive airstrike occurred at this building, and all people at this building was killed. So I just far about 100 meters from this long building. You can imagine if I delay about 1 minute, I was be killed. And another one, then it's occurred in Maghazi camp. It's occurred also in a medical bond. An airstrike target Onorwa clinic beside me, beside the building that I was in at. So 3 times airstrike. Okay, at the same hour of this Onorwa clinic, it's beside my building, and also at that time I refused to leave my medical bond. They asked me to leave, but I don't leave my bond. And at that time, I managed about 11 person at that time. And also at the same day, I just leave the after the duty. I leave the refugee shelter, and at the entrance of refugee shelter, uh, um, a large airstrike occurred at the street itself. And at that time, four person was killed, and about seven was injured. It's at the same street that I was standing at. So it's about far about 150 meters. So many times Allah preserve my life to keep going and to keep I continue to preserve life as much as I can. So many times I was in a target to be killed or to be injured. So it's okay that I'm still alive till now.
And you refuse to leave Gaza.
That's right. I refuse to leave Gaza till now and till the last day of this war. People here need my service, and people here need my experience and need my knowledge at this time. So why I evacuate? It's dangerous to me, but it's okay. We are doctors, and this is the best time that person and people here need our service. So I completely refuse to evacuate from Gaza.
And that's how many nurses and doctors feel as well, the ones who are serving in Gaza. Many of them refuse to
That's
leave.
right.
They don't want to leave. They feel motivated.
Right. Part of doctor and medical staff was killed, and part of them was in prison, and part of them was still in Gaza, and the rest was evacuated. So I'm the small part who was still and stay in Gaza to help and to provide our services to the patient and to the victims. There's a shortage in medical staff, so we don't have a choice to evacuate. I completely forget the choice of evacuation.
How many coworkers have you personally lost? I know you've worked with a lot of doctors and a lot of nurses. How many of them have been killed? Your friends, your
I
peers, your
cannot
coworkers.
I cannot count them as there is no good connection to contact them. But large number of my friends was killed, and large number of my doctors and my consultant who trained me and teach me at the university was killed. So every day we are shocked that someone of our friends, of doctors, or teachers, or consultants was killed every day and every minute. We receive
Yeah.
this bad news.
Doc, I hear the drone flying above you. The drone.
That's right.
I can hear a
But,
drone.
yeah, but now it's calm. It's calm now. You cannot imagine the sound of the drones at the night or maybe at the daytime. It's very, very loud. It will be very loud, and at sometimes you cannot hear me.
Yeah.
And um, also, I don't know if you heard the bombing sounds that heard a few minutes ago. Bombing sounds didn't stop for even 1 minute. It occurred even a few minutes, and you can hear drone sound now. But the explosive or airstrike sound occurred every few minutes, and sometimes it occurs randomly, and it may target anyone at any place in the street, in the home, in the tents, in the hospital, in the school, in the refugee. So it may target anyone at any place at any time.
Yeah, they use the drone to terrorize the people on the ground. They fly it around to constantly create a fear in the population. Correct? They fly it because nobody knows when it's going to strike. Correct?
That's right. They try to follow anyone, and sometimes the drones itself cause a bombing. Sometimes they have Yeah, in their storage. So drones sometimes is called bombing or strike. And
Uh,
there's another type of planes that are present now. It's a quadcopter. Quadcopter may have gunshot guns, may have shots in uh, their storage, and they kill anyone, and bombs in their storage. So we have many, many different type of planes in the sky.
Doctor, I want to ask you about Israel targeting medical staff. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah,
How Israel
yeah,
specifically targets either through snipers or or dropping
yeah.
missiles, dropping
That's
bombs.
right.
Can you tell me about that? Can you go
They
into
are,
that a little
yeah,
more?
that's right. Yeah, okay. But my battery is 2%, okay? If I disappear, you should know that
I
my battery
understand.
is
We can.
here.
Do you want to? If you cut out, if your battery dies, do you want to? Do you want to pick it up after you charge it? Do you have time today, or are you busy?
Not like that. I don't have any electricity in the place that I was fine that I was
Oh,
at.
okay.
Yeah, no electricity, no water. You can imagine that you should walk for more than 30 minutes to get a 10 liter of water for drinking. Okay, according to your question, yeah, uh, two doctors were an emergency doctors who was left the Al-Aqsa, Al-Shifa hospital at November. They have a night shift, and after that, there are two brothers in the emergency ward at Al-Shifa hospital. They left Al-Shifa hospital at the end of their night shift, and they take their car to the home. And at that time, the Israeli army targeted their car, and they were killed. So this is a simple example. And also, there is a doctor, consultant of orthopedic, who was the head of orthopedic surgery in Al-Shifa hospital, who was killed in the prison. So, and also recently, Dr. Iyad Rantisi, who was the head of obstetric and gynecological ward at Kamal Udwan Hospital, who was killed inside the uh, sorry, uh, last November. And recently, 2 days ago, or one day ago, they announced about uh, his death. They killed him inside the prison. So, really, at this war, they target doctors and consultants, and they try to send them a message: don't go to the hospital and don't manage victims, keep them or let them to die. But we refuse this message, and we try to keep our hands up and try to manage as much as we can. And really, we know that our life is in danger by walking to the hospital or serving inside the hospital. But we believe that this is our message and this is our duty at this time.
So Israeli forces are telling you to let the victims die. This is the
Yeah,
message they're sending you.
it's a clear message. It's a clear message. You can imagine that if they kill doctors outside the entrance of the hospital and they serve in the hospital. So what you can imagine, what is the message of the Israeli army to the doctors? How you
Yes.
can imagine? And in every hospital they enter at, the Israeli army at the first time attack the doctors and they take the doctors. Leave any medical staff. They take the doctors mainly.
And we lost him. His battery died. Oh no, he's back.
Yeah, brother Mark.
Yeah.
Yes. So our life in danger, and we try to do our best to continue and to keep going in our work. in the hospital and also in the medical point in refugee shelter.
So doctor, I want to ask you about the casualty rates in Gaza. Right now, it's being reported in the West that that 37,000, around 37,000 people have died. But I find that highly incredulous. And personally,
That's right.
I believe it's much more. Most likely north of 100,000. I think we lost him. We're good this time. Hey, Doc, you hear me?
Yeah. How are you?
Good, good. Okay, that's better. The connection's really good, it seems like. We were talking about the atrocities, the death toll in Gaza. So Western media has quoted around 37,000 civilians dead, but I find that to be highly incredulous. And personally, I believe it's much more, most likely north of 100,000. But before I run with that assumption at all, you would be a better source of information to speak on. Historically, genocides are almost always underestimated by at least 2 times the magnitude. So could you give me your opinion on what the death toll actually is in Gaza?
That's right. The Ministry of Health announced till now, according 37 and 50 person who was killed, but this is underestimated number. Yeah, I think it will be more than 50,000 person, as there is a person or people under the rubble of their homes after the airstrike. They cannot pull them out from their home. This is the first thing. The second thing, that there is some area here in Gaza no one can reach it. And there is a person who was at the street or at the home at this area, so no one can reach this area. So the estimation number of person who was killed in their home and no one can, but I think it will be 12,000. So the overall number of person who was killed till now, I think it will be more than 50,000 person who was killed. So I think this will be the exact number till now.
Understood. How is, in your estimation, how bad is the malnutrition rate in Gaza?
According to the malnutrition, there are large number of malnutrition cases, especially the children. Yeah, we miss more than 10 children in Al-Aqsa hospital due to malnutrition, as there is no food or no drugs we can give them to these children. And you can, I think, you saw the picture of these children at the media worldwide. 9 months till now. So the malnutrition is present. It's probably common in all age groups, especially at the children, and we cannot find any solution till now, as there is a shortage in the nutritional aid and food, and also in drugs that resolve the malnutrition for this age group or for this type of patient. So it's common, and I think the main thing that will resolve this problem is to open the crossing between Egypt and Gaza, the Rafah crossing. If it's open, I think the situation will be better. It will not be the best, but it will be better than the situation that are present now.
Mothers are not able to get formula for their babies. How are they coping with that?
That's right. That's right. There is a shortage in the milk formula for babies. I'm trying at the refugee shelter to support these type of mothers by bringing some type of formula, and I'm trying to do my best, especially for the babies and the pregnant women. And I did many times and supporting these babies by providing their milk formula. Sometimes that and their baby was malnourished, and uh, some of these baby was died. Sorry for that, but it's real situation. Now it's present, the milk formula it's present, but it's too expensive. Trying to support as much as I can, and I prepare a program to take care of the pregnant woman, as there is no antenatal care here in Gaza till now. In this war, I'm trying to take care of them and follow up them till their labor, and after that, I'm trying to support them in their needs to their babies by supporting them in their milk formula or pampers or something like that. So there's a shortage in this formula for babies, but it's present now, but it's too expensive. It's limited, okay, it's present in short number, but it's too expensive. It may reach 10 to 15 times the normal cost. So you can imagine that.
How are the mothers coping with that? How are they when they run out of formula and when they can't afford to buy it? What do they do? How do they keep their child alive?
Sorry, they did nothing, as they're trying to look for a small cup of this formula for their babies, but they cannot. They try uh, to have normal breastfeeding for their babies. If they have a nutritional aid, they try to do a breastfeeding for their babies and depend on it instead of milk formula. And sorry for that, they try to do nothing, as there is no choice for them to have it for this problem.
Yeah. So how many children do you see on a monthly basis dying as oh shit, lost him again. Sorry, lost you again.
Can't hear the last.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I said on a monthly basis, about how many children are you seeing die as a result of malnutrition?
The last 2 months, there was more 20 cases. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and every week in the north, there was the case of malnourished was died. So last 2 months, this problem was too common, and there are many cases. I think till now more than 30 cases was killed, was died. Sorry from malnourishment or malnutrition, and there is many cases was met in the pediatric ward complaining of malnutrition.
Can we talk about Al-Shifa Hospital? I'm sure you had coworkers and peers that worked there. Can you explain the stories that you heard about what the IDF did to the doctors in Al-Shifa Hospital and to the
Okay. Al-Shifa Hospital is the central hospital in all Gaza, and I think it's the biggest hospital in all Palestine state. And all specialties and all services was present at Al-Shifa Hospital. And I have training for more than 3 years in Al-Shifa Hospital. And also before the war, I was a teaching assistant in this hospital for surgery. So I have a good experience and I have a good memories in the Shifa Hospital. The doctors in the hospital is my consultant. They teach me at every level in my medical college till the graduation. So I know all of them. Till the okay to continue the services to continue giving the duty for the patient. Once the Israeli army entered the hospital, they attacked every doctor, every nurse, every pharmacist, every health worker in the hospital, and they put them in one room in a bad condition. They tried to put something in their eyes and something in their hands, okay, and uh, they make them to fast without. After that, they try to take them for asking a question and or the medical stuff. Till now, we don't know their state till now, if they are still alive, if they are in prison, or if they are what's happening with them, we don't know. But some of them was killed, and recently they announced before they announced about the head of the orthopedic department in Al-Shifa hospital. He was killed by the Israeli army. So till now, there's a large number that was nowhere, no news or no information about them, if they are killed or if they are still in prison. So this is what's happening at Al-Shifa hospital. And after that, after 1 month of the first entering, they enter Al-Shifa hospital again, and they try to target every room in the hospital, and put the fire in the hospital in the rooms, and it's now completely destroyed. All building of Shifa hospital now is completely destroyed. So we need to rebuild the whole Shifa hospital again.
Yeah.
It's the central hospital. So we are now suffering. And
Yeah.
after the war will finish, if it's will end, we will still suffering, as there is no hospital in all Gaza Strip.
What was the worst stories you heard about Al-Shifa Hospital and what the IDF did to the children and to the doctors? Are you comfortable going into detail about what they did?
The worst story that occurred in Shifa hospital.
Yes. What did they do to those doctors,
Yeah,
and to those nurses, and to the
it's
children?
it's a story about one doctor. Okay, after all questions and after violence that he had in the Shifa hospital from the Israeli army, uh, and after a gunshot in his limbs, they tell him you can go. He was happy for that. And once he reached the entrance of the hospital, uh, he see the Israeli machine and the snipers and the Israeli army, and he got shocked. And he just stand for 1 minute, and then he continue his walking with a group of people, group of victims, and their companion. And after he walked for more than 100 far from the hospital, a sniper targeted him in his head, and he was died. So I think this is the bad and the worst story that I was heard. They give you the guarantee to leave the hospital, and once you reach the entrance of the hospital, they target you in your head. Or one story from a large number of stories that was heard until now. We don't know everything that was occurred, as they take the doctors and the medical staff and they hide them. So it's a simple story from the victims and companion who see uh, this story by their eyes.
What did they do to the children in Al-Shifa?
The children, Yeah, they try to put their guns and their machines inside their bots to I don't know why they do this. They try to make hard for them. They prevent for them the nutrition, the drugs, everything, even the water. So they were suffering from everything, and there was no care about their children. And according to the children in the care unit, in the pediatric intensive care unit, they left them without the artificial respiratory machine, ventilation machine. So they were in the ventilation machine, artificial ventilation machine. They cut off the electricity, and they left this children without this ventilation machine. So they were died in only few minutes. So this is truly occurred in the Shifa hospital. And you can imagine that children with only few months or only few days died by this way.
I've heard some horrible stories about what the IDF soldiers did to the women and to the men in Al-Shifa hospital, but there's scattered reports. What do you know about what they did?
There is a report about sexual abuse for women, and there's reports about pregnant. They let their babies out of her abdomen, and she's still awake. And after that, she's died. This is what occurred for women in Gaza or in Shifa hospital.
They cut the babies out of the women's stomachs?
Yeah, that's right. Without anesthesia or analgesia, they open the abdomen of the mothers or the pregnant and let the baby out without analgesia or anesthesia or any type of drugs. And after that, the mother was died or killed from the bleeding. So you can imagine.
Yep. Doc, where do you think this is going to go? What do you think is going to be the end result of this? Are you seeing any type of hope on your end? If you do have hope, where are you getting your hope?
Yeah, till now I have a hope. Yeah, if I don't have a hope, you will not see my face till now. I think this war will finish soon by your support and by the protest and events that occur worldwide. Sure, it will finish one day, and I think it will finish soon. We lost everything, we miss everything, our homes, our jobs, everything we miss. So there is nothing till now we should lose it or we should miss it. We miss everything in our life. So our hope from God, we still alive till now. It's the biggest hope for me. And the second biggest hope is your support and you as you stand with us and you care about our feeling and our words and our situation. So
Which verse in the Quran inspires you to get up every day and go and serve those patients at Al-Aqsa hospital, despite the danger, despite the stress? Which surah or verse in the Quran gives you that drive?
سورة النصر.
Tell me.
إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. So it's a small part of Quran. It's آية إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. So you will be confident that the Nasr and will be come from the God one day. And also there is a lot of surah in the Quran that push up and support us and insert a hope inside our hearts. Every day to hear as much as I can from Quran and to read from Quran. It will raise the hope inside my heart and inside my chest. So I like this. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I know it's an intimate part of your life, but it's very important, right? Your faith is very important in what drives you, and it's not given as much credit as it needs to be given for the brave medical workers and doctors in Gaza.
Thank you.
I want to go back to Al-Nuseirat Massacre. Am I saying that right? Al-Nuseirat? Al-Nuseirat? Al-Nuseirat.
Yes, that's right.
Can you tell me more about Al-Nuseirat Massacre? What type of injuries did you...
Hello?
I hear you now. Can you tell me about Al-Nuseirat Massacre and what you think happened based on the testimony from your patients and people that you know, what type of injuries they sustained and what happened exactly? It's been portrayed as a rescue operation in the Western media, but we know that it was nothing more than a massacre. We know that the rescue was a disguise for an intentional massacre. But can you tell us from your perspective what happened in the massacre?
Yeah, it's really a massacre. And in only 1 or 2 hours, there was more than 250 persons was killed, and more than 800 of victims was injured. So the situation at that day was calm in the morning till 10 o'clock. Till 10 o'clock, the situation was start, and no one at that time can understand what is happening in around. Random bombing, random airstrike occurring everywhere in Nuseirat, and planes in all the sky of the middle area of Gaza, especially in Nuseirat camp. And a large number of victims was presented to the hospital, and large number of nearly all the people in Nuseirat camp enforced to leave their home. They think that the Israeli army entered Nuseirat camp in Nuseirat camp, and they enforced to leave their home or tents or their place that were present in them. So no one at that time understand what's happening. Till the 1 o'clock, after 2 hours, they cry that there is some to cover this event by random airstrike and random bombing to refugee and to refugee in the Nuseirat camp or to the street. So large number that was not measured, you cannot measure it. Every few seconds there was a lot airstrike or bombing in the street or in homes in Nuseirat camp. At the same time, at Al-Aqsa hospital, there was a call from the Israeli army to one of who was present, who was in Al-Aqsa hospital, to ask them to leave Al-Aqsa hospital, as there were there will be a airstrike inside Al-Aqsa hospital, and there was random movement for victims, patient, and refugee inside the Al-Aqsa hospital, also for the medical staff. So you can imagine that about a large number of medical staff evacuated or displaced from Al-Aqsa hospital, and at the same time there was a large number of victims and person who was killed presented to the Al-Aqsa hospital. So you can imagine that. And we did a big effort to preserve the life of victims as much as we can. And after 3 or 4 hours, the airstrike reduced. After that, we understand what is happening, and after that, people try to look for their their members of family, their friends, and they try to collect the injured victim from the street or from the homes. And after that, we receive a large number of victims, and we try to manage them as much as we can. So, about what's happening.
Were there many children who were shot at the massacre?
What?
The children who were shot with bullets during the massacre?
Yeah, the children. Most of victims was children and women. About 70 to 80% was children and women. Sorry for that.
Gotcha. How are you taking care of yourself emotionally
I'm trying.
and physically?
Yeah, I'm trying to do my best to take care about myself, but sometimes I cannot. I was in a situation or events that was in danger, but I'm trying to take care of myself. But sometimes you force yourself to take a decision, to force yourself to move, to help someone who was injured or who was killed in a dangerous area. So it's a war zone area, and every day I walk 2 hours to the hospital, and I return 2 hours from the hospital, and I see the rockets, and their strike was near from me. I try to take care, but please, you get a point that you cannot take care of yourself. It's a war zone area, and airstrike occur at any place.
Are you worried about Al-Aqsa hospital getting hit?
Yeah, maybe they enter Al-Aqsa hospital, and maybe we will be in Al-Aqsa hospital. I don't know, but anything can occur or may occur in Gaza.
What have you had interactions with face to face with the IDF?
No, till now, no.
Yeah.
Till now, no. Yeah, till now, no. I didn't have any interaction with them. I'm in Al-Aqsa hospital, and they didn't enter Al-Aqsa hospital till now. So I didn't have the interaction with IDF till now, but I see or watch their effect. It's enough. I think that.
How are the Gazans adapting? What is working and what is working right now? Many Gazans are having to think outside the box and be very creative in order to survive. What has been working for them? What are ways that they have been able to figure out how to survive in this hell?
Everyone now lost or missed his work, and nearly about 70% missed his or their home. So no works now. They are trying. The only one they are trying by sell and buy, and this is the only valuable work in Gaza now. So no works in Gaza. I'm now volunteering. I missed 2 jobs with 2 salary. I was a teaching assistant and a medical director, so I missed 2 salary, and now I'm volunteering. So this affect my present and my future. I miss a grateful scholarship for a master degree, and if I was in my job and I have 2 salary, I can be able to cover the fees of the master degree from my salary. So that's why I enforce myself to establish a campaign in GoFundMe, as there is no work, and my work now is a volunteering work in Al-Aqsa hospital and as a medical point at a refugee shelter.
I think that you're a hero. There are so many heroes in Gaza. You are a hero. You're a hero to us. You're a hero to medical staff across the world.
Thanks.
The eyes of the world are on Gaza right now. Do you feel that though? Do you feel like the eyes of the world are on you?
I think that, yeah. I think there should be a large or a massive protest in every city. We should intensify the protest in every city, in every different country, to enforce the government, to enforce the Israel to stop or to have ceasefire. I think it's all eyes in Gaza now, okay, but we should, people should intensify their protest and events to enforce the government, to raise up their voice and to raise up our voice and words.
Yeah. I want to talk more on a positive note for you. What were your best, before October 7th, what were your best memories in Gaza? The good memories that you had?
The good memories, my work. I was enjoying my work. I was a teaching assistant and also a medical director. I was enjoyable in this work. And I have the good memories with my friends at the beach and at the restaurant and coffee. I have good memories with every person in my life. So now all of these memories was deleted, as all of the places that we have these memories in it was destroyed, and nearly all Gaza was destroyed. So I was enjoying in my work. I was getting up every day at the morning, having my duty in the university, and after that I went to the to the health center, having a shift till the 8 p.m. And after that I have my own time to sit with my friends in the restaurant, in the beach, in the coffee. Uh, so I hope this will return. I hope, really, I wish that. I missed these memories and I missed this time too much. And I think we deserve a better moments. I was in the United Kingdom in 2023. I have a course in vascular surgery at Queen Elizabeth Hospital for more 1 month. So I think that I will be able again to start a master degree in United Kingdom. It's really one of my biggest dreams. I think that, and I hope that I will do this soon.
Yeah. In Gaza right now, the medical staff, one thing I've noticed, and maybe I'm wrong, but one thing I have noticed about the medical staff in Gaza, the paramedics, the doctors and nurses, they have an amazing sense of humor. They use humor to help them cope, right? They use humor, comedy to help them cope. They joke with each other. You know?
That's right.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, we try to have a job in our work to reduce the stress and the psychological effect of what we see in the hospital. And every time I have a smile, and I try to laugh in the face of my colleague and in the face of the victims and patient. I try to distribute and to have a smile in every time and in every place that I will be in it. In the street, in the hospital, in the shelter, in the tents, in every place I will be in it. I try to smile in the face of whom I met them.
Yeah. Can you tell me a story about a patient that inspired you, that really touched your heart?
Yeah, it's inspired me and broke my heart at the same time. He was called Usama. Usama was 8 years old. Okay, he presented to the emergency room, and I was in the emergency room at that time. I met him and I tried to manage him. He was suffering from burn, about 70 to 80% of his body surface area, with third and fourth degree of burn. Okay, and unfortunately, he missed all of his member family. That's why I try to take care about him, and I try to visit him every day in the hospital. And after I manage him in the emergency room, I admit him to the intensive care unit for more care. and after 7 days, he was discharged from the intensive care unit. And after that, I tried to take care about his wound, his bird, painkiller, everything. I facilitate everything for him. And also, I succeed in put his name on the Rafah crossing list. Okay? And 1 month ago, Rafah crossing was closed. And I continue to take care of Usama as much as I can, as all of his member family. But 3 months ago, I was shocked. He was died. He was died from sepsis, which is an infection. If Rafah crossing was open, he can evacuate to have proper management abroad. But finally, he was died. I was shocked about him, and I was crying. I take care of him too much, and I consider him as my brother, as one of my member family. But we miss him. He left this life to meet his family. So this is the most broken story for me in this war. I consider him as my brother, and I try to take care of him by everything, and he was killed. He was died. Sorry for that.
No, don't be sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
It's one of
Usama.
Yeah, it's one of Usama. It's one of simple story. Large the story occur.
He's in Jannah.
That's right. He's in Jannah.
He's in Jannah. He's in Jannah, brother. He's
Yeah,
in Jannah.
Alhamdulillah.
He's in a better place. So just think about that and let it drive you.
Yes.
Anything you want to say to the audience? Anything you want to say to the audience to get out to express yourself, express your feeling, whatever helps,
Yeah.
Doc. I want you to, at the very least, I hope that this recording session gives you some type of a psychological break and psychological I don't know. I hope it gives you something. I hope you feel like it will encourage you in some type of way. There's not much I can do here. A lot of us can't do much. There's so many of us who wish we can go into Gaza and help out. So a lot of us feel helpless when we look at doctors like you who are risking everything. So
I know. I'm so thankful for whom support us and stand with us here in Gaza, in protests and events, even by the words in the social media. Really, it's exert and it's raised the hope inside our hearts. And really, I appreciate that. And this war will finish soon. I'm confident of that. This war will finish soon.
inshallah.
And really, our heart is broken. Yeah, we know that, but we have a hope. We have a hope everything will be okay after this war. And I'm seeking your support to my medical mission campaign. I really need your help to start the master degree in the United Kingdom and to start my favorite specialty in surgery. I wish to support me to donate or to share my medical mission campaign. And I think I deserve it. I think that, and I think everyone can help by words, by donation, by sharing, by praying. I will appreciate every single support to my medical mission. And please raise my voice and my words and my fundraising, as really I don't have much time to raise my words and to raise my voice. And I hope that one day we will meet in a peace and in a good place and good moments, and we will create a good moments and good memories with friends that we know in the sport. I think, and I'm so glad to meet you, my brother Mark, and I'm so thankful for this great opportunity to raise my voice and to raise my words. I really so thankful for you, and I appreciate your voice and your efforts that for supporting Gaza. Really, thanks from the bottom of my heart. Thanks a lot for you and for your audience and for anyone who tried to support me and support Gazan people. Thanks a lot, and I'm here for any question or for any support for anything that you need to know or to know more about Gaza and what occurs in Gaza. Thanks again, and really, the words of can't cannot express how I'm thankful for you and for your audience. Thanks for this great opportunity, and I'm so glad to meet you, my brother Mark.
You as well, Doc. Hey, Doc, are you and I gonna go to a nargila cafe after Palestine is free?
Yeah, we will meet. I'm confident we will meet.
What flavor of nargila is your favorite? Hookah.
Gila. Yeah, it's other.
Apple? Double apple?
Other.
Of course.
Yeah,
Nakla, right? Nakla?
Nakhla or Fakhir.
Fakhar?
You know Fakhir?
Fakhar. Yeah. Fakhar is too sweet for me. It tastes too sweet. I like the
Yeah.
nakla.
Yeah, I like Fakhir.
You like Fakhar? All right. I'll tell you what. When Palestine is free, we'll have both.
We will, brother. I promise you, we will have this one day soon.
Well, Doc, I know you're busy. I know you can't hang around for too long. I'm sorry about your internet connection. We'll make it work.
I'm sorry for the connection. I'm sorry for the connection. Yeah.
No. Don't be sorry. It's not your fault.
Thanks,
brother.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Brother, I cannot tell you how much of a giant you are compared to everybody around this world who we live in safety here in the West compared to what's happening there. But I cannot tell you what a giant you are in bravery. You might as well be 500 pounds full of muscle, in my opinion. You know?
Thanks a lot. I'm so glad to meet you, and I'm really so thankful for this great opportunity.
Yes, sir. With that said, I'll let you get back to your day. I hope to interview you soon. In the meantime, Doc, Barak Alafik. Okay?
Alafik, Habibi. Thank you.
All right, brother. Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
Take care.
إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا